banks of Mousy Creek. While we remember the past, we look towards the future. So join the Eagle Club today as we continue to support our athletes and coaches through funding and facilities. Talents up.
Join the Eagle Club today. Visit cneagles.com/Eagle Club.
Welcome back to Wing Deer Park in Johnson City, Tennessee. Carson-Newman and Glenville State getting things going to open up the 2026 season for the Eagles as Lorelei Spradlin steps in the circle and delivers a first pitch strike to Kylie Goodman for Glenville State. Eagles bring one run across on an RBI single from Reese Winchester, and it is 1-0 Carson-Newman as Spradlin misses inside, and the count moves to 1-1. Spradlin coming into her sophomore season, expected to be the top pitcher on this Michael Graves-led staff. Her freshman season was guided under Sierra Rogers as the 1-1 popped out towards second base, and the catch is made by Winchester for out number 1 for Lorelei Spradlin. And that will now bring up Shelby McDaniels, the left fielder. Spradlin, as I said, a sophomore hailing from Blacksburg, Virginia, went 8-6 last season. Held a 5.48 ERA as the number 2 pitcher behind Sierra Rogers, who picked up an All-South Atlantic Conference nominee. That misses inside to McDaniels, and it's 1-0. And the 0-1 offering is up, or excuse me, the 1-0 offering is upstairs. Next pitch comes in, and it misses from Spradlin. Count moves to 2-1. McDaniels lifts one foul. And the count moves to 2-2. The 2-2 from Spradlin misses upstairs, and the count runs full against McDaniels. Playing in left field. On deck for the Pioneers is Delaney Warnick, a junior outfielder, as the payoff pitch comes in and it is lifted foul out of play down the left field line, and the count remains where it is. A cold, cold day in Johnson City. Temperatures currently sitting at what they say is 33 degrees, not a cloud in, or not a speck of the sky. A overcast day as the 3-2 shot the other way from McDaniels and drops into right field for a base hit. And a one-out base hit for Glenville State puts a runner on, and here comes Delaney Warnick. Spradlin in the circle for Carson-Newman. Let's look at this Eagle defensive alignment. Abby Martin is in straightaway center. She is flanked in right by Shelby Armstrong, a transfer from Roane State Community College, and in left by Addie Saunders. Spradlin rocks and deals to the right-handed hitting Warnick. And the first pitch misses low. In the infield, it has Macaulay Bailey over at first base and Grace Gregory at the hot corner. And then the duo of freshman middle infielders with Reese Winchester at second base and Malia Smith over at shortstop. The 1-0 is fouled back by Warnick. And then behind the plate is another freshman in Anne-Marie Richards, who is someone that head coach Michael Graves, who's in his 8th season leading the charge for the Eagles, is very high on. The 1-1 loops in high. 2 balls and a strike to Warnick. This is a Glenville State team that went 37-16 a year ago. Off to a 1-0 start today after a win in their opening contest against Emory and Henry to kick off this preseason invitational. As the 2-1 is high from Spradlin, 3-1 now to Warnick. 3-1 swung on and missed, and it's a full count once more. Here's a payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Warnick, and Spradlin has her first strikeout of the 2026 season. Picked up 72 of those last year in her freshman season. And now she looks to work around a one-out base hit. She faces Zalias Sadon. First pitch swinging by Sada, popped up right field. On comes Armstrong, and she will make the grab for out number 3. 17 pitches in the opening frame for Lorelei Spradlin, and it is a 1-0 lead through 1 inning of work for the Eagles to start the 2026 season. Anne-Marie Richards leads off when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
In 2025, we celebrate 130 years of Carson-Newman athletics. Over the years, the teams at Carson-Newman have been known for their toughness and Christian spirit. Through the decades, teams and individuals playing at the highest levels have brought recognition for this little school on the banks of Mossy Creek. While we remember the past, we look towards the future. So join the Eagle Club today as we continue to support our athletes and coaches through funding and facilities. Talons up.
Join the Eagle Club today. Visit cneagles.com/Eagle Club.
Welcome back to Wing Deer Park. Anne-Marie Richards leading off and takes a first pitch strike from Stump to begin the second inning in this opening day contest between Carson-Newman and Glenville State. Next pitch misses outside, and it's 1-1 to Anne-Marie Richards, a freshman for Carson-Newman and the catcher. Hailing from Spring Hill, Tennessee. That catches the outside corner, and the count moves to 1-2 against Richards. Stump trying to get off to a smoother start in the second inning. Gave up a leadoff. Put the first 2 hitters on for Carson-Newman as the 1-2 from Richards lifted out towards left field, and the catch is made by Shelby McDaniels, and there's one gone in the top of the second inning. And that brings up the designated player, Winter Morris. Winter in her junior season. A bat that head coach Michael Graves really likes, swinging on the first pitch on a down and in drop ball. And this is caught by McDaniels out in left field, and so 2 quick outs. Recorded by Shelby McDaniels, and Megan Stump is going to like that. Trying to get a 1-2-3 frame in the second and keep it at a 1-0 ball game as Addie Saunders now steps into the lefties batter's box, one of a few lefties in this Carson-Newman roster as he takes a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike from the right-hander and Stump. Slight shift on in the outfield as Emma McLean, the center fielder, is shaded towards left center. So a big gap out in right center for Saunders if she's able to pull one into the gap. That misses out of the zone, and the count moves to 1-1 against Saunders. Next offering is just a tad low, and it's 2-1 against Saunders. Sophomore out of Radford, Virginia. And 2-1, slapped foul down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes against Saunders. Started 24 games in 2025, batted .337. No home runs, but had 18 RBIs. And a split between the outfield and the infield throughout most of 2025, as this is a touch high to Saunders, and the count runs full. Corners in on the infield for Glenville State. Saunders loops one down the left field line, and it is foul, just out of the reach of a diving McDaniels out and left. She was looking for 3 F7s to put this inning away. If the inning were to continue, it would be Shelby Armstrong that is standing on deck for Carson-Newman. Armstrong on a transfer from Roane State Community College. Here's another payoff pitch, and it is low, ball 4. Saunders with a long at-bat is able to put a runner on base with a 2-out walk, and here comes Shelby Armstrong. Playing in right field. Trying to use his bottom part of the order to set the table for the top as Armstrong takes the first pitch strike from Stump on the outer half. A right-handed hitter in Armstrong. On deck is Abby Martin for the Eagles. Here's the 0-1. And Armstrong fouls it straight back. 0-2 quickly. Stump nearing 30 pitches through 2 innings. This next one will be her 29th. Corners are in against Armstrong. As the 0-2 runs up above the letters to Armstrong. And it's 1-2. A smaller player in Armstrong stands at 5'1" in the righty's batter's box. And the 1-2 sails outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Armstrong. Saunders still over at first base. Here comes the 2-2. And Armstrong fights it off with a foul ball lifted down the first base side and out of play. Here's a 2-2 off the mark, and the count is full to Shelby Armstrong. Trying to work another 2-out walk. A little bit of a 2-out rally for the Eagles. Trying to give Lorelei Spradlin a little bit more comfort in the circle. 3-2. Chopper right back up the middle. Fielded by Seda at second and fires to first in time. Just a step in front of Armstrong for out number 3, and that will send us to the bottom half of the second. Still a 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
In 2025, we celebrate 130 years of Carson-Newman athletics. Over the years, the teams at Carson-Newman have been known for their toughness and Christian spirit. Through the decades, teams and individuals.
Welcome back to Wing Deer Park in Johnson City, Tennessee. A 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman over Glenville State. I was trying to work through some technical difficulties on the other end of my stream here. As Lorelei Spradlin returns to the circle. Holding a 1-0 lead and faces Hannah Howe to begin this inning and delivers a first pitch ball. Here's the 1-0, and it's popped up at a play, straight back, and into the concourse below. Good setup here at the James K. Ellis Softball Complex. 4 fields for this 2-day event. As Spradlin comes on the 1-1, and Howe chops it foul, third base side, and it's 2-1. Or excuse me, 1-2. The 1-2 is high to Howe, and 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out in the top of the second inning. It is Howe, Nolan, and McLean for this Pioneers team in the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 is high and outside of the right-handed hitting Howe, who hails from Las Vegas, Nevada in her junior season. Spradlin comes home, 3-2, pulled foul. Three balls, 2 strikes. Spradlin settles in, facing the righty in Howe. And Howe pulls another one down the third base side and nearly hits her coach in Sarah Scone. Three balls, 2 strikes. Spradlin trying to get out of this at bat as the 3-2 comes in and misses low and inside. So it's a leadoff walk to Hannah Howe, and it puts a runner on first base as Emily Nolan now comes up to bat. Nolan is the catcher in Game 2 as Howe is playing over at first base, but Howe also listed as a catcher on the Glenville State roster. First pitch, bunt laid down, and it pops foul off of home plate towards the third base bag, and it's 0-1 to Emily Nolan. It was a 9-0 win in 5 innings for Glenville State in the opening contest of this season for the Pioneers as they took down Emory and Henry. The 0-1 chopped towards third, snagged by Gregory, looks to second, doesn't have a throw, goes to first. And Nolan is retired as Hannah Howe heads over to second base on the 5-3 putout. And so here comes Emma McLean, who was 0 for 3 in that first contest against E&H. Trying to pick up her first hit. Swings on the first offering and lifts a towering fly ball to left field. Saunders charges in, calling off Malia Smith, and the catch is made for out number 2. So a short-lived battle between McLean and Spradlin. And Howe stays put over at second base. So Andy Joe Howard now steps in. And the first pitch is off the mark, high and outside to the sophomore from Wheelersburg, Ohio. A 1-0 down the line foul. Just over the glove of a leaping Grace Gregory over at third. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. As Spradlin tries to escape trouble after the leadoff walk to Hannah Howe. Trying to get past Andy Joe Howard. The 1-1. Off the mark outside to the right-handed hitter. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two one finds the zone, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Howard. Now is pitch number 30 for Spradlin. And the 2-2 fouled straight back. So we'll do it all over again. Howard on another 2-2, clips it into the fence behind home plate. Last season for Howard, appeared in 32 games with 9 starts, a .304 hitter for the Pioneers. Went 7 for 23 at the dish with 6 RBIs as a runner in scoring position in this at-bat. Another break even from Spradlin, and it loops outside in towards the lefty's batter's box. And it's a full count to Andy Joe Howard. On deck is the 9-hitter in Lillian Burns. If this inning is to continue, here's a payoff pitch from Spradlin. And Howard, wouldn't you know it, another foul ball. Continues to battle in the righty's batter's box for the Pioneers. And the first meeting between these two teams since 2011. They met in the Mid-South Classic down in Spartanburg as the 3-2 pulled down the left field line, and it just misses foul. As this marathon at bat continues for Howard against Spradlin. It was a 12-3 win for Carson-Newman when those two faced off in Spartanburg. The 3-2, Howard in the air, straightaway center. Martin is there as she takes a couple of steps back and makes the grab for out number 3. A runner is stranded in Howe over at second base as Spradlin is able to escape trouble and take it to the 3rd inning with a 1-0 Carson-Newman lead on the Eagle Sports Network.
This is Carson-Newman men's basketball alum Taylor Hawkins. I want to help your family secure its financial future. I'm with Modern Woodman Financial Planning, where we touch lives and secure futures. Let Modern Woodman protect your family's financial security through life insurance, retirement planning, and financial services. You can contact me, Taylor Hawkins, at cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. That's cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. Help secure your family's financial future through Modern Woodman Financial Planning.
There's new fresh ideas on campus. From Chick-fil-A to Maples Coffee to Sabarijos, Fresh Ideas has tons of high-quality dining options.
Welcome back to the Big Region preseason invitational between Carson-Newman and Glenville State. Abby Martin leads off in the top of the third inning and takes the first pitch ball on the inside corner. Now slaps one down on the third base side, and this one is bouncing foul of the third baseman in Kylie Goodman, and it's 1-1. Martin, a SAC player to watch heading into the 2026 season, and Michael Graves, the head coach of Carson-Newman, has felt she's flown a little under the radar with her defensive ability and with her bat and her speed. Takes a strike on the outer half, and it's 1-2. 39 career stolen bases for Martin. That put her just inside the top 10 at the end of last season in terms of career stolen bases. As the 1-2 shot the other way and sneaks under the glove of the second baseman, Seda, and it's a leadoff base hit for Abby Martin. That's a lot of speed going on the bases as it turns back over to the top of the order with Malia Smith, who reached base to begin the 2026 season. And so the corners will come in for Glenville State. Smith, a freshman shortstop who has been someone that has just been stellar throughout the fall and in the build-up to this season for head coach Michael Graves. As she takes the first pitch ball on the outer half, showing bunt. Saw the entire infield come in for Glenville State. Smith from Knoxville, Tennessee, so just a short journey to Jefferson City. Squares one down, fielded by the third baseman in Goodman, and a throw on to first is in time. Good job covering by Seda. Advancing over to second goes Abby Martin on the sac bunt. So Martin in scoring position, and here is Reese Winchester with another opportunity to pick up an RBI. And takes the first pitch ball from Megan Stump. Winchester is 1 for 1 with a base hit to center field that brought in Malia Smith and had brought in the lone run of this contest to open up 2026 for Carson-Newman in a 1-0 lead. Abby Martin dancing around over at second as the 1-0 from Stump misses down and into the right-handed hitter in Winchester. 2 balls and no strikes. Long journey for Winchester, one of 2 players on this Carson-Newman team, hailing from San Diego, California. As the 2-0 misses inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Winchester. And Winchester, along with most of the players in this freshman class, has turned heads not only on the coaching staff but some of the veteran players. And Macaulay Bailey spoke at length to me in the preseason about what a player Reese Winchester is. As she takes the 3-0 outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to put runners on first and second for Carson-Newman. And so the infield will come in as they're talking over at home plate. And it looks like we're going to get a pitching change for this Glenville State squad. Stump will be replaced by Andy Joe Howard. On the lineup card, Stump was listed as a flex player, so the ability to interchange in this lineup for head coach Sarah Schoon. And so we will take a quick break as Andy Joe Howard prepares to come into the contest for Glenville State.
This is Carson-Newman men's basketball alum Taylor Hawkins. I want to help your family secure its financial future. I'm with Modern Woodman Financial Planning, where we touch lives and secure futures. Let Modern Woodman protect your family's financial security through life insurance, retirement planning, and financial services. You can contact me, Taylor Hawkins, at cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. That's cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. Help secure your family's financial future through Modern Woodman Financial Planning.
Back from Windeer Park as Andy Joe Howard is set to go for for Glenville State, facing the dangerous Macaulay Bailey, stepping into the righty's batter's box. Bailey 0 for 1 so far. As Bailey fouls one off down the right field line. And so runners on first and second for Macaulay Bailey. The pitch home from Howard, who's a lefty, chopped on the ground, stopped by the shortstop on a diving stab by Delaney Warnick. But she'll have no throw as Bailey will reach on an infield base hit. And that bait loads the bases for Carson-Newman and Grace Gregory coming up to bat. Now for the Eagles, as I talked about Howard and what she did hitting-wise, pitching-wise, she was one of the better arms for the Pioneers last season, as the first offering to Gregory is down and away outside of the righty, 1-0. Last season for Howard, 7-2 in 17 appearances with a 2.60 ERA. Held opponents to a .230 batting average. Here's the 1-0 to Gregory. Pulls it foul down the third base side. 1-1. Bailey's over at first, with Winchester at second and Abby Martin at third. So a ball hit to the outfield with the speed that Winchester has, should be able to score 2 for Carson-Newman in a 1-0 game in the top of the third. The 1-1 from Howard. Gregory, hard hit chopper straight to third, fielded by Goodman. She'll go home, and the force out is made as Gregory will reach over to first base. And so Ducks go around on the pond, and Martin is retired on the fielder's choice. A 5-2 put out. Here's the first pitch to Anne-Marie Richards. She swings on the first offering and pops it out into foul ground on the first base side, and the catch is made to end the inning. And so Carson-Newman loads the bases, but Andy Joe Howard comes in and shuts the door, leaving the bases loaded as we head into the bottom of the third. Still a 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman on the Eagle Sports Network.
Sabarijo's Fresh Ideas has tons of high-quality dining options for whatever taste you may need. Sabarijo's is open Monday through Friday for lunch and dinner in the Health Sciences Building. Sabarijo's features all your Mexican favorites, from burritos to nachos to quesadillas to tacos to anything you can think of in a tortilla. Follow Fresh Ideas on Instagram at Carson-Newman Dining.
This
Goes up with the right hand, scores, and one.
is Carson-Newman Women's Basketball on the Eagle Sports Network.
To Weichel, top of the key, 3 for 3.
Must have played the wrong bump in between commercials there. We are not listening to Carson-Newman women's basketball, although shout out Andrew Rogers, one of my good co-workers that I have. He does a tremendous job for the Lady Eagles. Although they're on a little bit of a skid. They've dropped their last two to UVA Wise and Anderson, trying to get back into the swing of things with a midweek matchup against arch rival Lincoln Memorial, who is also here this weekend in Johnson City. A lot of SAC teams have made the trek for this big region preseason invitational at the James K. Ellis Softball Park on the area of Winged Deer Park as Spradlin settles back into the circle and Lillian Burns, the 9-hitter, leads off and fouls the first one away down the third base side. And then it'll turn back over to the top of the order for the Pioneers. Burns in the first contest against Emory and Henry, a 9-0 win in 5 innings for the Pioneers. Was 0 for 1 but had a run scored. Trailing Carson-Newman 1-0. Eagles wasted no time. An RBI single from Reese Winchester in the top of the first inning. Got the 2026 season started on a high note for the Eagles, as the 1-1 is fouled away by Burns, and the count moves to 1-2. No shift on in the infield or the outfield. Bailey and Gregory, the corner infielders, even with the bags. As the 1-2 to Burns sits just atop the zone and evens the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And it's fouled away by Burns. Keeps it where it is. 39 pitches for Spradlin so far, as we are in the bottom of the third. Another foul ball. There's pitch number 40. The 2-2, high and outside. Full count now to Burns. And the Pioneers hitters have done a good job at working these counts now against Spradlin. Here comes the payoff pitch. And Burns digs one out from just beneath the turf. Flies it out towards center field. Martin comes on and makes the grab for out number 1. And so it's back to the top of the order with Kylie Goodman. Goodman was retired on a pop-out to Reese Winchester. And she goes straight back towards her on the first offering, but loops it over her head and into right field for a base hit. Fielded and scooped up by Shelby Armstrong. It's a 1-out base knock for Kylie Goodman to put a runner on first base. Second hit of the afternoon for the Pioneers. And so now that brings up Shelby McDaniels. Goodman had a strong performance against the Wasps this morning. Went 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. Also had an RBI as McDaniels takes the first pitch ball on the inside part of the plate. McDaniels followed suit 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored. So a dangerous top of the order for the Pioneers to start this season. Next offering from Spradlin is fouled straight back, hits off the top of the fence behind home plate, and then comes stumbling in towards the concourse below. Some onlookers, a good crowd on display, battling the elements on a frigid day in Johnson City. Showing bunt and pulling back is McDaniels. Settles back in Spradlin in this righty-on-righty matchup. Next pitch comes in and is just a touch low. 3-1 now to Shelby McDaniels with Goodman over at first base. Corners are slightly in. Middle infield deep for Carson-Newman and Winchester at second and Smith at short. 3-2 catches the outside corner to the right-handed hitting McDaniels. Paused for a moment, thought she had gotten ball 4. But a strike is called, and McDaniels steps out, settles back in. And an opportunity for Glenville State with the tying run on the bases in the bottom of the third. A payoff pitch from Spradlin misses just a touch inside. And it's a one-out walk from Shelby McDaniels. Now puts 2 runners on for the Pioneers as Delaney Warnick, the shortstop, will now come up to bat. Warnick against E&H this morning, 1 for 2 with the 2 RBIs. Is 0 for 1 so far today. First offering from Spradlin. She catches a piece of it and fouls it straight into the fence down the first base side. Warnick is 0 for 1 with the strikeout. Lone K so far for Spradlin. Here comes the 0-1. Warnick in the air, shallow right field. Winchester goes back, can't make the grab, and all the runners will advance one more bag as a looping base hit for Delaney Warnick drops in right field. Loads the bases with 1 away for the Pioneers as Carson-Newman and this infield group, along with Anne-Marie Richards, going to go out and have a conversation with Spradlin in a big moment with the tying run over at third. The go-ahead run on second for the Pioneers. And coming up to bat is Elias Seda, the second baseman, is 0 for 1, popped out to right field in Shelby Armstrong. That ended the bottom of the first inning. So after Burns was retired to start this inning, the next 3 have reached for the Pioneers as Spradlin's first pitch into Seda fouled straight back. 0-1. Goodman reached on a single. Then McDaniels walked, and most recently, a blooper to right field by Warnick has loaded the bases. This one shot towards second base. The catch is made by Winchester. Tries to snap a throw over to first to get Warnick. It's bobbled by Bailey, but she scoops it up, and the rest of the runners stay put. So a hard-hit line-out by Seda. Winchester made the grab, and everybody else stays put. Nearly a double play to end the inning for Carson-Newman. And so now there are 2 outs as here comes Hannah Howe. She worked a walk her last time up to begin the second inning. Spradlin trying to put her down to end the third, and she catches the outside corner on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Winchester already having a busy day in her first collegiate game as the difference maker on an RBI single in the first inning. The lone run that is scored in a 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman. This one hit on the ground, hits off of the heels of Spradlin, redirects to Winchester, and she tosses to Malia Smith for out number 3. And Spradlin works out of the jam and gets a little assist to Reese Winchester to end the inning on the fielder's choice, where Warnick is retired for 6. And so bases are left loaded for Glenville State. Will head into the 4th inning. It is still a 1-0 Carson-Newman lead on the Eagle Sports Network.
This is Carson-Newman men's basketball alum Taylor Hawkins. Hawkins. I want to help your family secure its financial future. I'm with Modern Woodman Financial Planning, where we touch lives and secure futures. Let Modern Woodman protect your family's financial security through life insurance, retirement planning, and financial services. You can contact me, Taylor Hawkins, at cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. That's cneagles.com/Modern Woodman. Help secure your family's financial future through Modern Woodman Financial Planning.
There's new fresh ideas on campus. From Chick-fil-A to Maples Coffee to Sabarijo's, Fresh Ideas has tons of high-quality dining options for whatever taste you may need.
Welcome back to Wing Deer Park in Johnson City, Tennessee. It is a 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman as we come into the top of the fourth inning. Winter Morris leads off, facing Andy Joe Howard. Swings on the first pitch, pops it up, second base side, and the catch is made for out number one by Zelias Seda. And so now that will bring up Addie Saunders, standing in the lefty's batter's box. First pitch to her is a called strike on the outer half from Andy Joe Howard, who replaced Megan Stump and has stayed into the contest. One of three Mountain East teams that Carson-Newman will see this weekend. Or I said, well, it is the end of the weekend on Sunday, but we'll also see one tomorrow, as Saunders pulls one foul down the first base side, 0-2. Glenville State in this contest, then Concord to close out day one, and then they'll open up day two against Davis and Elkins tomorrow morning. That one's slated for a 10 a.m. start, although all games today were pushed back an hour. And so this was initially slated for a 12 p.m. start, and for those of you that were patiently waiting on YouTube or the other streams, you had to just wait a tiny bit longer as Saunders fouls one away, and it's 1-2. And so Concord, which that meeting was set for 4 p.m., is now set for a 5 p.m. start. And then tomorrow, as I said, Davis and Elkins at 10 a.m. and at noon, Carson-Newman will close out this Big Region preseason preview invitational against Converse from Conference Carolinas. Those two teams will see each other later in February on the 24th in Spartanburg at Converse. As here's a 1-2 to Saunders, pulls it towards the right side, and it finds a gap through the 3-4 hole, and that's a leadoff base hit for Addie Saunders. Into right through the right side. And so here comes Shelby Armstrong. Bottom part of the order for Carson-Newman. Did a good job at setting the table the rest of the way as Armstrong swings on the first pitch, sends it out towards left field, and a catch is made. Ranging back is Shelby McDaniels to come up with the play. That was nearly trouble and would have been possibly extra bases for Shelby Armstrong. And Addie Saunders with good speed on the bases. So there is out number one on a long fly out from Armstrong. And so here comes Abby Martin, who picked up a base hit her last time up in the third inning. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Here comes the next offering from Howard. Martin shoots it the other way into right, and the catch is made by Burns, and that will do it for out number three. So a quick inning for Howard in the circle. Gave up a one-out base hit to Addie Saunders, but we head into the bottom of the fourth. Carson-Newman still clinging to a 1-0 lead on the Eagle Sports Network.
high-quality dining options for whatever taste you may need. Sabarijos is open Monday through Friday for lunch and dinner in the Health Sciences Building. Sabarijos features all your Mexican favorites, from burritos to nachos to quesadillas to tacos to anything you can think of in a tortilla. Follow Fresh Ideas on Instagram at Carson-Newman Dining.
Welcome back to Johnson City, Tennessee. Coming back a little early from break, trying to give you all a chance that are listening along to really get an idea of what is going on here in Johnson City. The opening contest of the 2026 season for Carson-Newman. If you're just joining me late, I'm Matt Scalzo. Happy to be with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Delighted you could make me a part of your Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, that is. Hopefully you're staying warm, unlike the patrons that are outside here in Johnson City. My phone says it is 36 degrees. The real feel is 34, and it is an overcast day. I see a little bubble down the first base side for a fan trying to stay warm. Game 1 of 2 on this Sunday afternoon for Carson-Newman Open 2026 as Lorelei Spradlin settles back into the circle, facing Emily Nolan. And the first pitch to catcher is fouled back. Actually, it is a pinch hitter in Hannah Smith that is up to bat. And she finds herself in an 0-2 hole as Spradlin catches the inside corner, 0-2. Spradlin comes home, and the fastball dips down and away outside to the right-handed hitting Smith, a freshman utility player out of Ohio, crowding the plate from the righty's batter's box with a nice light pink bat. Here's the 1-2 popped up. Winchester at second base creeps just into the outfield grass and makes the grab for out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Or I should rather say the outfield turf. All turf fields here in Johnson City allows games to be played in these winter months. And this has been a start of the season that has been plagued with schedule adjustments as the first pitch to Emma McLean popped up center field. Martin charges in and will make the grab for out number 2, excuse me. And 2 quick outs here for Spradlin. But as I was saying, this season, at least the start of the season, has been riddled with schedule changes. Carson-Newman Classic that was set to begin this season at the end of January and February 1st was canceled against Concord and Kentucky State. Carson-Newman will see the Mountain Lions this afternoon as the first pitch to Andy Joe Howard popped up, foul ground, first base side, and the catch is made by Macaulay Bailey to end a very quick bottom of the 4th inning to keep this at a 1-0 lead for Carson-Newman. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base in a 1-2-3 inning for Lorelei Spradlin. We'll take another break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the 5th inning from Johnson City on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Welcome back to Wing Deer Park in Johnson City, Tennessee. Malia Smith will now lead off for Carson-Newman in the 5th inning. Or to begin the 5th inning, and Smith began the 1st inning reaching base and eventually coming in to score as the lone run that has been put up on the scoreboard in this contest between Carson-Newman and Glenville State. A 1-0 lead for the Eagles. As Andy Joe Howard, the lefty, settles back into the circle, and the first pitch is fouled away by Smith, and it's 0-1. As I was saying before, Lorelei Spradlin decided to make really quick work at the bottom of the fourth inning. This season for Carson-Newman, as the 0-1 notches the outer edge and it's 0-2 to Smith, plagued with schedule adjustments, touched on the Carson-Newman Classic being canceled. As the 0-2 to Smith, chopped foul, third base side. So we will do it all over again on the 0-2. Carson-Newman then pushed its contest up against Milligan that was initially slated for the 21st of February up to February 3rd this past Tuesday to try and get a game in before this weekend in Johnson City, and then that was postponed all the way till March 26th because of snow, as the 0-2 to Smith misses high 1-2. And then this coming week, contest against King, the hosts of this Big Region preseason preview, was then postponed to that prior February 21st date that was initially slated for the contest with Milligan. Will now be when the Eagles and the Tornado tangle for a doubleheader in Jefferson City. Smith fouls one off, and it's 1-2. If people are looking to throw around blame for the snow, you could throw it at me. I am a Northeast guy, so it only felt right that I faced with a lot of snow my first move down to Tennessee, as Smith takes that one looking and heads down back to the dugout, down looking on a strikeout from Andy Joe Howard, her first of the afternoon. And there's one gone in the top of the fifth inning, as Reese Winchester will now step into the righty's batter's box. And she takes the first pitch strike from Howard. It's 0-1. Winchester, a base hit in the first inning, drove in Malia Smith. As the 0-1 golfed foul, straight back 0-2. And then Winchester worked a walk back in the third inning. Got all the way over to third and was left stranded in a bases-loaded opportunity for the Eagles. The 0-2 hangs outside of the zone, and it's 1-2 now to Winchester. Here comes the 1-2. Down and away outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I was saying, one of 2 players hailing from San Diego, California is Winchester. The other is Emma Romika, another freshman. They both went to Foothills Christian Academy, and saw in the YouTube comments the Romika family is watching as Winchester has battled back to make it a full count at 3-2. And so Winchester trying to get on base with one away in the top of the fifth inning. Here's the 3-2. Wave and a miss. Down on strikes goes Winchester. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andy Joe Howard in the circle. And there's 2 quick outs in the top of the fifth inning. And here comes Macaulay Bailey into the righty's batter's box for Carson-Newman. As I talked about with Bailey, I mean, the list of accolades that she has is so long I had to adjust my game notes for this season just to fit all the things that she has had in throughout her career. Was named first team preseason All-South Atlanta Conference, although there was only one team released, no second team this year. As that one is in the zone to Bailey. And the count is at 0-1. Here's the pitch home, and it dips low and away outside to the senior from Cross Plains, Tennessee. All-SAC second team last season. after blasting 18 home runs with 62 RBIs. Here's the 1-1, wave and a miss, and it's 1-2 now to Macaulay Bailey. Or excuse me, the count is actually at 2-2. And the 2-2 home to Bailey. Clips it straight back into the netting, or excuse me, the fencing behind home plate. And for Macaulay Bailey, last season she was able to become the all-time leader in career home runs and RBIs in Carson-Newman history. Comes in with 190 in her career as the 2-2 swing and a miss from Bailey down on strikes. It is a 1-2-3 top of the fifth inning for Andy Joe Howard, and all three Eagles go down by way of the K as we will head into the bottom of the fifth here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza and
In 2025, we celebrate 130 years of Carson-Newman athletics. Over the years, the teams at Carson-Newman have been known for their toughness and Christian spirit. Through the decades, teams and individuals playing at the highest levels have brought recognition for this little school on the banks of Mossy Creek. While we remember the past, we look towards the future. So join the Eagle Club today as we continue to support our athletes and coaches through funding and facilities. Talons up.
Join the Eagle Club today. Visit cneagles.com/Eagle Club.
Welcome back to Johnson City, Tennessee. A cold, cold Super Bowl Sunday in the Volunteer State. Matt Scalza with you on the Eagle Sports Network. 1-0 the lead for Carson-Newman. And the lone run of this contest against Glenville State came in the top of the first inning. An RBI single from Reese Winchester, picking up her first collegiate hit and RBI to drive in freshman counterpart Malia Smith. As Lorelei Spradlin settles back into the circle, and she'll face the 9-hitter in Lillian Burns from this Glenville State side. And then it's back to the top of the order with Kylie Goodman and Shelby McDaniels. And this 9-1-2 that are due up for Glenville State. First pitch from Spradlin. Skitters along the ground as Burns turns and pulls it foul down the third base side. Coming into this inning, 60 pitches, now 61 for Lorelei Spradlin so far. Has been able to work around some trouble on the bases, but has only surrendered 3 hits. All of them have been just base hits as Burns shows bunt and fouls it back off of home plate. Quickly 0-2. 2 walks and a strikeout for Spradlin that has been able to stay calm, cool, and collected. It's pretty easy to stay cool on with the temperatures that we are dealing with. Now at 37 degrees. Big up from the 36 degrees the last time I checked as Burns fouls it off again. And the count stays where it is at 0-2. As I was saying, Super Bowl Sunday, Seahawks Patriots this evening at 6:30. But before that, if you got nothing else going on, and if you're looking for some more softball, 5 p.m., Carson-Newman and Concord facing off to close out day one of this preseason, or I guess opening day invitational here at the James K. Ellis Softball Complex as Burns, wouldn't you know it, fouls another pitch off. 4 consecutive foul balls for Lillian Burns to begin the bottom of the 5th inning, facing Lorelei Spradlin. Here comes the 0-2. Burns up the middle and into center field for a base hit to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. She just kept working and working and eventually found a breakthrough on the 4th hit surrendered by Spradlin to get the leadoff hitter aboard for the first time this afternoon in this contest for Glenville State. Carson-Newman did it in the top of the first inning and saw the success that it worked there. Bunt is pushed down by Goodman, fielded by Gregory over at third, and fires on to first for out number 1. Covering the bag was Reese Winchester. for the 5-4 putout as Burns will advance over to second. As here comes Shelby McDaniels. First offering to Goodman is just a touch high above the top rail of the zone, and it's 1-0. Spradlin rocks back, comes home. This one shot up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Martin will throw it home. The tag skips through the glove of Anne-Marie Richards and to the backstop. Coming in to score is Burns, and Shelby McDaniels delivers an RBI single, advancing to second on the throw, and we are all knotted up at one apiece. It was a great throw from Abby Martin out in center field, but Richards just could not secure it on the throw in. And so now, with a runner in scoring position and the go-ahead run in place for Glenville State, here comes Delaney Warnick, who is 1 for 2, and McDaniels continues to be a strong producer. What a day it's been for her. She's 2 for 2, reached all 3 times today after working a walk back in the 3rd inning, and now she delivers an RBI base hit to even this contest at 1 apiece between Carson-Newman and Glenville State. And here comes the 1-0, and it's high for ball 1. Or excuse me, the 0-1 offering is high, and it's 1-1. Now we're seeing the success of getting the leadoff hitter aboard. Carson-Newman did it in the top of the 1st inning. Reese Winchester drove in Malia Smith, and now Lillian Burns gets on, and the hit parade keeps going as Warnick shoots this into right field. The throw home from Armstrong is on a rope, and it is in time! Glenville State was looking for the lead as McDaniels was trying to dive in, and Armstrong throws a rope in from right field. Guns down McDaniels, and keeps it at a 1-1 game for out number 2. And as now looks like there might be a change coming in the circle, and it will be. Lorelei Spradlin's day comes to a close, and here comes senior Riley Sykes into the circle. Michael Graves will be making a change, and we'll get everything you need to know about Riley Sykes when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
In 2025, we celebrate 130 years of Carson-Newman athletics. Over the years, the teams at Carson-Newman have been known for their toughness and Christian spirit. Through the decades, teams and individuals playing at the highest levels have brought recognition for this little school on the banks of Mousy Creek. While we remember the past, we look towards the future. So join the Eagle Club today as we continue to support our athletes and coaches through funding and facilities. Talents up.
Join the Eagle Club today. Visit CNEagles.com.
Riley Sykes into the circle for Carson-Newman as her first pitch misses down and away to Zalias Seda. And the next offering is fouled out of play. for Sykes in her senior season with the Eagles. Missed time last year with an injury. This one looped out into right field for a base hit from Seda. Advancing around second on her way to third goes Warnick and puts runners on the corners with 2 gone. For the Pioneers trying to get the lead. So runners on the corners with 2 away. Coming up to bat now is Hannah Howe. It's Seda at first. And over at second is Warnick. Or excuse me, over at third is Warnick. As the first pitch from Sykes misses the zone to Howe. And it is 1-0. Next pitch comes in and also misses. 2-0 here to Howe. As Riley Sykes is trying to settle in to this contest. Called upon in a big spot. Senior from Powell, Tennessee. 2-0 misses high. 3 balls, no strikes. That one finds the zone, and it's 3-1. Another foul ball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 up the middle. Smith, gloves, fires to first, and it is in time for out number 3 before the run scores from third. Or actually, that didn't really even matter there. My apologies. A little distracted here. I forgot to get the pitching change in on the live stats. But either way, Malia Smith with a 6-3 putout to end the bottom of the 5th inning. Keeps it at a 1-1 ball game after the Pioneers were able to tie it in the bottom of the 5th and top of the 6th coming up when we return on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
In 2025, we celebrate 130 years of Carson-Newman athletics. Over the years, the teams at Carson-Newman have been known for their toughness and Christian spirit. Through the decades, teams and individuals playing at the highest levels have brought recognition for this little school on the banks of Mossy Creek. While we remember the past, we look towards the future. So join the Eagle Club today as we continue to support our athletes and coaches through funding and facilities. Talons up.
Into the 6th inning we go from Johnson City, all square at 1 apiece as Grace Gregory leads off and takes the first pitch ball from Andy Joe Howard. Southpaw continues to work in the circle as Gregory sends a slow roller down the third base side, fielded on the backhand in foul ground by Goodman. And the count evens at 1-1. Game was tied up on a base hit from Delaney Warnick. a base hit from Shelby McDaniels as Gregory on the 1-1 sends a chopper up the middle, fielded and retired by the shortstop in Delaney Warnick for out number 1. So here comes Anne-Marie Richards, who has wasted very little time in her at-bats, swinging at the first pitch in both of her first 2 trips to the plate. And she waits on the first one and takes a ball high from Howard. So as McDaniel's RBI single in the bottom half of the 5th that tied things up, scoring Lillian Burns. Richards on the 1-0, high fly ball, center field, in shallow center rather, and the catch is made out there by Emma McLean for out number 2. And here comes Winter Morris. The Eagles have been struggling as of late in terms of hitting. No hits in the last 2 innings. It has been 1, 2, 3 frames for Howard over the last 2, and starts Winter Morris out with a strike, catching the outer edge on the off speed. Howard has retired the last 8 Carson-Newman hitters. Looking for a second consecutive 1, 2, 3 inning, and she has retired the last 7 Carson-Newman hitters. I had my math off just a little bit. I am a comm major at the end of the day. And so the count sits at 1-2 with 2 away to Winter Morris. The 1-2 hits a slow roller, third base side, fielded by Goodman, fires to first, and in time, a nice stretch from Hannah Howe to finish another 1, 2, 3 inning from Andy Jo Howard. And so we go into the bottom of the 6th, all knotted at 1 apiece between Carson-Newman and Glenville State on the Eagle Sports Network.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long, from the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Looking to make your home more comfortable and affordable? Maybe with a new electric heat pump or new attic insulation? And don't forget new doors and windows. AEC is here to help. We have a quality contractor network, easy financing, and incentives for home upgrades. Plus, AEC carefully inspects.
Sorry to cut off that great ad read from Andrew Rogers on AEC, but we're back to some action here from Wing Deer Park. Riley Sykes back into the circle, into her first full inning of work, faces Hannah Smith, the new catcher that is in. Second at bat for Smith. Pitch hit for Emily Nolan back in the 4th inning as the first pitch from Sykes missed outside, and then the next one is pulled foul down the left field line by Smith, and the count moves to 1-1. As there are a lot of onlookers to this game. As the 1-1 comes in from Sykes, swing and a miss from Smith, and it's 1-2. Carson-Newman's next opponent, Concord, is off to the side on the third base side. We'll have a game before they take on the Eagles. Sykes misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then down the first base side is the Mars Hill Lions, a sack counterpart for Carson-Newman. And a jam-packed first day. Smith Swing and a miss. Down on strikes. As Sykes gets her first strikeout of the season, and out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Apologies on the YouTube stream. Just had stats disappear. Just get a fix on that one. Count sits at 1-1 to Emma McLean, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. Here's the 1-1. Pops it up, foul ground, first base side. Bailey ranges over off the first base bag and makes the catch for out number 2. And here comes Andy Joe Howard, who has been stellar in the circle defensively, slowing down this Carson-Newman offense. You're going to look behind the scenes here as my stats slightly glitched, and so my apologies on that end. Look behind the scenes at how quickly can I do this. Did it pretty quick as on the 0-1, Howard sharply on the ground, fielded by Smith on a couple of hops, fires on to first, and the pick is made by Bailey for a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th inning for Riley Sykes. Sends us into the 7th inning, all square, one apiece between Carson-Newman and Glenville State on the Eagle Sports Network.
Maybe with a new electric heat pump or new attic insulation. And don't forget new doors and windows. AEC is here to help. We have a quality contractor network, easy financing, and incentives for home upgrades. Plus, AEC carefully inspects every job to ensure the highest quality satisfaction. Visit our website at aeccoop.org for applications, contractor lists, and more details. AEC, power what matters most.
Got the graphic fix, or the live stats fixed on YouTube, and right on time, ready to get going in the top of the 7th inning. All square between Glenville State and Carson-Newman. I know the stats are a little behind on the YouTube stream, but I assure you, you are in the top of the 7th inning, and I'm Matt Scalzo on the Eagle Sports Network. Addie Saunders leads off in a 1-1 ball game, facing Andy Joe Howard, and the lefty delivers the first pitch strike to the left fielder in Addie Saunders. A lefty-on-lefty matchup in the top of the 7th inning. Who's going to find that breakthrough to get the go-ahead run in this battle of two very strong sides? Glenville State, a 9-0 win over Emory and Henry this morning into this afternoon, and now taking on Carson-Newman, who was picked to finish 4th in the South Atlantic Conference preseason poll, as the 0-2 misses outside to Saunders from Howard, and the count sits at 1-2 now. Pitch home, and Saunders fights it off with a foul ball looped out of play down the left field line. 7, 8, 9 in the Carson-Newman order. Saunders, Armstrong, and Martin due up. So far today, those three hitters are 2 for 5 in comparison to the 0 for 9 mark in the middle of the Carson-Newman order, and Macaulay Bailey, Grace Gregory, Anne-Marie Richards, and Winter Morris. As Saunders takes another pitch, and it's off the mark. 2-2. Pitch home on the break even, fouled away Third base side by Saunders. So we'll do it all over again. Getting the leadoff hitter on has been big for both sides. Both runs have come after these teams got the leadoff hitter aboard, as Saunders battles all the way back and has worked the count full, as that offering is high above the zone from Howard. Here comes the payoff pitch home. Down and in against Saunders. She works backwards. Fell behind 0-2 and then is able to fight off a couple of foul balls and takes 4 pitches to work a walk and puts the leadoff hitter on base, as Shelby Armstrong will now come into the righties batter's box. She's 0 for 2 today, and Saunders reaches base for the second time today. Or rather, for the third time. 2 walks and a single. Strong opening day outing for Addie Saunders, as Armstrong shows bunt and fouls it away. 0-1. Trying to put Saunders into scoring position. Here comes the 0-1. And it's fouled off right on top of home plate by Armstrong, and it's 0-2. The Eagles scored their first run in the first inning, an RBI single from Reese Winchester. Drove in Malia Smith after Smith stole second. And then Glenville State got their lone run in the bottom of the 5th inning on a single from Shelby McDaniels to drive in Lillian Burns, who reached as a leadoff hitter. 0-2 is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Armstrong. The pitch home. Armstrong just catches a piece of it off the end of her bat. Keeps the count where it is. Here's the 1-2, and it's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Armstrong. And she is also working the count backwards. Fell behind 0-2 after a couple of foul balls on bunt attempts. Here comes the 2-2. Armstrong in the air. Right side, it'll stay on the infield, and the catch is made by Zalia Seda, the second baseman, for out number 1. And so Saunders stays put. And here comes the 9-hitter, Abby Martin. Armstrong now 0 for 3 on the contest. Martin 1 for 2. First pitch down away, skipping along the turf into the lefty's batter's box, and it's 1-0. Handled by the catcher Smith to avoid any extra harm with Saunders on the bases. Single and a flyout for Martin so far today. The 1-0 just misses beneath the knees of the center fielder in Martin, and it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0, and Martin fouls it straight back. 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Martin, slow roller, first base side, gloved by the first baseman in Howe. Steps on the bag at first and tries to fire a throw over to second to get Saunders, but she slides in ahead of the tag to avoid being doubled up. So Saunders, the go-ahead run, in scoring position for Malia Smith. Talented hitter and freshman. Swings on the first pitch, loops it into left center field. It is down for a base hit. Saunders around third, in to score. Malia Smith, the go-ahead RBI in the top of the 7th inning. And she is fired up at second base, and rightfully so. Eagles in front 2-1. Smith wasting no time, pushing the Eagles back in front. Advance to second on the throw. And Saunders in to score. 2-1 lead for Carson-Newman in the top of the seventh. Beautiful at-bat from Smith. Wasted no time, worked it the other way, and into left center field for a base hit. And so now Reese Winchester comes up in a deja vu scenario to what she had in the top of the first inning, although she was working with no outs and not 2 outs. But Smith over at second base in scoring position and Winchester at the dish. These two combined to give Carson-Newman the lead in the top of the first inning on an RBI base hit from Winchester. And doing that again would give a little bit more comfort to Riley Sykes in the circle trying to pick up that Game 1 win as Winchester waves through the 1-1 offering. And the count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 from Howard. Swing and a miss. Winchester down on strikes. That will end the inning. But Carson-Newman takes the lead back on an RBI single from Malia Smith. Her first career RBI. And it's 2-1 Eagles as they look for 3 more outs in the bottom of the 7th when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen out of Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Looking to make your home more comfortable and affordable? Maybe with a new electric heat pump or new attic insulation? And don't forget new doors and windows. AEC is here to help. We have a quality contractor network, easy financing, and incentives for home upgrades. Plus, AEC carefully inspects.
Sorry, Andrew, second time I've had to cut you off in your AEC ad read. But we're into the bottom of the 7th. Carson-Newman looking for 3 more outs to take this contest 2-1 over Glenville State. Matt Scouser with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Malia Smith, the go-ahead RBI single in the top of the 7th inning, drives in Addie Saunders with 2 outs. Riley Sykes settles into the circle looking for 3 more outs. And first pitch is outside to Lillian Burns. Last time Burns led off an inning was in the 5th inning. She got a base hit and eventually came in to score and tied it up at 1. What does round 2 have in store? This is the first time that Burns will be facing Sykes as the 1-0, a towering pop-up just onto the center field turf. Smith ranges all the way over from the shortstop towards the second base side of second base and makes the catch for out number 1. And so here comes Kylie Goodman. Concord and Emery and Henry patiently waiting in the concourse behind home plate. They will be the next matchup here on field 2. Sykes misses on the first offering to Kylie Goodman. She's 1 for 3. Had a single back in the 3rd. Popped out in the 1st and grounded out in the 5th. Next pitch races high and inside to Goodman, 2-0. Carson-Newman will have the 3rd slot of day 1 off till they take on Concord in the final time slot of day 1. But Concord and Emery and Henry will tangle what is slated for, on the schedule, it's set for a 3 p.m. start, but we're currently at a 2:51 local time here in Johnson City, so that'll be a little bit behind schedule. So can't exactly say for certain that it will be a 5 p.m. first pitch between the Mountain Lions and the Eagles to close out day 1. As Goodman fouls that pitch back, and the count moves to 3-1. Also going on at 2 p.m. will be Davis and Elkins versus Mars Hill, and then Converse against Tusculum. 3-1 on the ground. Straight back to Sykes. Fields fires to first, and it's in time. Gets Goodman by a couple of steps, and there's two away. A little PFP action for Riley Sykes. And so here comes Shelby McDaniels, who has just had not only a stellar game, but a stellar day total. In the first contest against Emery and Henry, she was 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored and 4 RBIs. Today, in this contest, she is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Also reached on a walk. McDaniels on the first pitch, sends it in the air. Right field, Armstrong comes on, and she makes the grab for out number 3. And the Eagles pick up the win in their opening contest of the 2026 season. Malia Smith, the hero, with the RBI single in the top of the 7th inning, driving in Addie Saunders. And the Eagles improved to 1-0 in a tightly contested affair against Glenville State. 2-1 the final. Carson-Newman, 2 runs on 5 hits with no errors. Glenville State, 1 run on 7 hits with no errors. They leave 7 runners on. The Eagles left 6 on the bases. And Riley Sykes will pick up the win for the Eagles, while Andy Joe Howard takes the loss for the Pioneers, who fall to 1-1 on the season. Eagles improve to 1-0. So that one comes to a close at 2:53. Just about an hour and 40 minutes or so in terms of game time. I'll have to do all that at the end of this one, but either way, Carson-Newman 1-0. Taking a look at this contest, Sykes goes 2 2/3, gives up no runs on just 2 hits with 1 strikeout. Spradlin does have the run charged against her after going 4 1/3 innings. Had a strikeout on 2 walks. Hitting-wise for the Eagles, Malia Smith reached a pair of times, had the run scored, has the game-winning RBI. Reese Winchester 1 for 3. Macaulay Bailey was also 1 for 3. Addie Saunders had a stellar day, 1 for 1, 2 walks, the go-ahead and winning run in the 7th inning, and then Abby Martin had the 5th hit for the Eagles. She went 1 for 3. But that does it for Game 1 of Day 1 from the Big Region Preseason Preview Invitational from Johnson City. Game 2 will be against Concord for these Eagles, looking to make it 2-0 on the day. That'll be coming at around 5 p.m. or so. We'll have all the action that you need here on the Eagles Sports Network. Special thanks to my boss, Adam Cavalier, for sending me out here. I was about to say my producer. It's just a one-man show out here in Johnson City. But Game 2 will be coming up at around 5 p.m. The Eagles improved to 1-0 after a 2-1 win over Glenville State. Malia Smith, the hero and player of the game for the Eagles here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back with more from Johnson City in about 2 hours or so time here on the Eagles Sports Network. Till then, I'm Matt Scalzo signing off. Stay safe on your Sunday afternoon.